Hi, my name is Olivia, and today I want to talk about the transition to having two under two. So this can be a really chaotic and a crazy time, but honestly, my transition has really gone smoothly in my opinion, and I have a lot of tips and tricks that I want to share with you guys. So if you don't know me already, I have a 23-month-old who is about to be 2 next month, and then I have an almost 2-month-old. So I am in the thick of it. I am right there. If anyone's out there in the same kind of area, let me know in the comments because it's a wild, crazy ride, but I feel like it's gone super smoothly, and there are some things that I didn't think of beforehand, plus some things that I did that were super helpful. So I want to share those all with you guys today. So first, I think the biggest thing is to just manage your expectations. So I broke this up into 3 things. So managing your expectations of yourself, your home, and your toddler. So for yourself, I think the biggest thing is to give yourself grace. This is such a big change, and it's going to take time to get back to your reality, to get back to your routine, your rhythm, make your house feel like home again. Like, it can be a little bit crazy, and that's how I felt at the very beginning. But just give yourself so much grace, because especially if you're in the early postpartum days, kind of like me, I just think that you need to give yourself so much grace because you pushed a human out of you, you added a new baby to your family, and that's so awesome and so cool, and it's just going to take some time. So the next expectation I think is important to have is for your toddler to just be ready for there to be some regression. Maybe there's not. I hope that there's not. But you're adding a new baby to the mix, and you're splitting some of your attention. So that is a very big change, and just be prepared for that. Like, for example, my son, he kind of acted out a little bit a couple times. He's still doing it a few times, and I realize anytime he does it, which is very out of character for him, honestly, anytime he does it, it is definitely because I have not given him that one-on-one attention that he needs. And so just be prepared for that, and look for is he acting out, or he or she acting out because new baby is here? Most likely. So just have that expectation and have grace for not only yourself, but your child. And the last expectation that you should have is for your house to not be perfect. I mean, depending on what kind of help you have, maybe it could be perfect. I don't know. But personally, I had to let go of this idea that I had to clean everything and make sure the food was perfect and all the things. It's just day by day, moment by moment, and the house may be dirty. And if someone wants to come over, I am not going to be embarrassed that my house is dirty, because I am in this early postpartum days of taking care of 2 kids, and taking care of them and myself are the most important. So just let go of the idea that your house is going to be perfect. You will get back into the rhythm of doing your normal routines, but just set that expectation at the beginning. I think that will be very helpful. So let's get into the tips that I have. I again split them up into toddler tips for your household, and then tips for yourself. And so let's start with the toddler. So the very first thing that my husband and I are trying to do is to steer clear of negative language about our baby to our toddler. So what I mean by that is, if I am doing something with my son and my baby starts crying, I'm not going to say, hey, I have to go take care of the baby and I can't play with you. Or I can't do that for you right now because I have to go take care of baby. Or anything like that. Like, I never want to put the blame on baby. I want them to have a really sweet bond and connection. And so I don't want to put that blame. So just watching your language, I think, is really important, and something I didn't think about beforehand. Now, this next tip is like the biggest game changer. If you haven't watched my birth story, I will link it here, but I had a lot of blood loss, and so even now, my hemoglobin levels are not up to normal, so I'm feeling almost back to myself, but not fully. If you are hearing little baby noises, it is because she is here. I might have to grab her. All right, so the biggest game changer for those early postpartum days was getting activities for my toddler and I to do on the couch. So if you had a C-section, or if you tore or if you lost a lot of blood, you might need to really take it easy and sit down, or even just you want to hold your baby. Like, it's very, very helpful to have things for your toddler and you to do on the couch. So I'm going to link them below, the things that I bought, in the description. But there were things like, we did puzzles, we did sticker books. My son loves animals, so we did lots of animal sticker books. We read real books. We've done a lot of drawing, and there's like this like water wow thing that's not messy, and you can find little things in the pictures. Anyways, if you want to look into any of that, I will put it in the description. But those were seriously game changers. They lasted weeks of entertainment for us. Like, we're still playing with them to this day, and he loved them. It was awesome. The next toddler tip would be to include them in as much as you can. Let them help. So my son loves, I keep trying to say my husband, I don't know why. My son loves to help. He loves to get a blanket, help wrap baby in the blanket, get diapers, get wipes, like all those kinds of things. He's helped give her a bath and just help me do things, grab something whenever I can't grab it. And it makes him feel a part of it, and he feels more included, and his actions and his demeanor are all improved. This is my first true video back, I feel like, and so just give me some grace for trying to figure out, please, how to do this with 2 babies. Another toddler tip would be to prepare them ahead of time. So I know a lot of people read books to your toddler, they talk about baby's coming and try to explain what's going on. I didn't really do all that because he was very aware that a baby was growing in my belly. He was so attached. He went to all my appointments. He listened to the baby's heartbeat. He would measure the baby, and he would always hug the baby, kiss the baby. It was so cute. And so I didn't really feel that need to go into depth about what's going on, what's happening, the new edition, reading books. But if your child is not getting that connection, I think that that's really important. And just showing them your belly and saying that there's a baby coming and whatever, all those things, I think that that's really important and has really been helpful, because it wasn't a shock that I had a baby. It was like, oh, mom, baby's here, cool. And so I think that that is an important piece. All right, so the last toddler tip I have is to be more intentional with the time that you spend with them. Be very intentional about one-on-one time, even if it's just 5-10 minutes. So I've noticed if I am very intentional and I am paying attention to him, playing something that he really wants to play, and then after I want to go make dinner, it goes so much more smoothly. So just be very intentional with the time that you have and try to make that one-on-one time happen as much as you can. The next couple tips are for your home. So prepping your home was a huge benefit. And what I mean by that is prepping freezer meals. Wow, that was so awesome and such a game changer. So I prepped a lot of breakfast stuff, which made the mornings a lot more easy, especially I didn't feel as good in the mornings because I didn't have as much energy. I didn't have food in my system. So having those freezer meals was so awesome. Just muffins and egg and sausage burritos, things like that. And then having some dinners already made in the freezer was also super helpful. Another thing that was so amazing and I'm thankful for is to pick up groceries. So that is something that you don't have to prepare in advance, but just to take advantage of if you have that near you. So I would just plan out our meals and then have my husband go pick it up, and it was so helpful and convenient and easy. The next thing would be to prepare a postpartum basket. So I had this prepared, but I didn't have it fully exactly how I wanted because I wasn't sure how I wanted it, and I didn't know exactly what I needed because I kind of forgot what it's like to have a baby, which is crazy because it was not very long ago that I had my son. But anyways, I feel like I have nailed down everything that you need in a postpartum basket. If anyone is interested in my setup, let me know, because I feel like I have it down. But that has been super helpful. So I just grab my basket, take it to bed with me, grab my basket, take it to the living room with me. I have it wherever I need, and it's super easy. So the next couple tips are personal, they're for yourself, and I think these are super helpful. So the first thing is to stop having a mindset that I have to do this. I have to do the dishes right now. I have to make dinner right now. I have to vacuum right now. When you're in the season of having 2 little babies, I just find that type of mentality is not helpful at all. And anytime I have that mentality, I feel like I have stress, I have anxiety, I get angry, I get frustrated, and it is just so not worth it. So instead of saying I have to do this, I just have it in my mind, I would like to vacuum today. And if it happens, great. If it doesn't, maybe I can do it on the weekend when my husband's home, or in the morning before my husband goes to work, or whatever. You just have to be more flexible because your kids and yourself are more important. And my mentality and my mental state is definitely more important than vacuuming my house. Or if I have to make dinner right then, do I really have to? Like, if I push it back 5 minutes, 10 minutes, does it really matter? No, probably not. So just getting away from that has been really helpful. Another mentality type of mindset shift is to stay away from this victim mentality. So I did this a lot with my first, and it made my postpartum not as positive as it could have been, although it was super great, super positive, awesome. But I did have that like victim mentality, like I have to stay up with the baby, and poor me that I have to stay up later than everyone else, or I have to wake up in the night, or whatever. Like, isn't that why you had a baby? To take care of them? And what a joy and what an awesome, awesome thing that we get to do. What a beautiful gift from the Lord. Like, I am so happy when she wakes up and she wants to eat. I'm so happy that I get the opportunity to stay up with her. I'm the only one who gets that. No one else in the world gets that time, that opportunity. And so just looking at it differently, trying to stay away from the victim mindset has been really, really helpful. This next tip is another game-changing one, and it is baby wearing. So when I am wearing the baby, I feel like my son doesn't care at all. Like, we can play, we can go on a walk, I can do laundry. My son doesn't care that the baby's on me, and we can just play and act like it's just us two. And I think that he thinks it's awesome. Not that he doesn't love the baby, because he does. But that is just a essential piece, because you can get so much more done. Yes, it might be slower. Like, it does take me longer to do the dishes when I have a baby strapped to me, but oh my gosh, it makes things so much more peaceful. She's happy, I'm happy. I can get things done. I can move around. It's amazing. Another tip for yourself is to just be flexible with your schedule. I think the overwhelming theme is to be flexible with everything, but really be flexible with your schedule. I have things planned. I have things written on the calendar, and sometimes we do them and sometimes we don't. If I feel like it's going to be way too overwhelming, we just don't do it. Or if I feel like we're bored and I feel up for it, everyone's in a good mood, we're good, maybe we go somewhere. We don't have to have this set schedule, set in stone things, and just being flexible, I think, is really helpful. Another super important piece to this, I think, if you are a crunchy mom like I am, and you really care about the food and things that go into your kids' bodies, just, again, give yourself grace in this time, because maybe every single thing that you guys eat during the season isn't perfect, and maybe you're like me and you had an unexpected thing happen in your birth, and so you had to go to the NICU. There's going to be potentially other people taking care of your kid, or maybe it's just your husband, and maybe your child is not getting the same food that you would feed him, and that is okay. It's okay. Oh, it makes me want to cry thinking about it, just because it's something that's out of your control, and of course you want the best for your child, but it's just a season, and they're not going to get hurt by eating something that you don't want them to eat, even though you don't want them to eat it. So that is just something. I hope someone out there understands what I'm trying to say with this, because just like food is really important to me. And yeah, just give yourself grace. It's gonna be okay. My last tip or piece of advice would be to not be afraid to ask for help. So the first time around when my mom came over and she would clean or do whatever, and I would sit and hold my baby, I felt very awkward and weird about it because I was doing nothing essentially and she was cleaning my house, which was my job. But this time around, I'm like, if anyone comes over and they want to do something for me, that is amazing. If my sister wants to come bring us food, thank you. That is amazing. If my mom wants to come over and clean my bathroom, beautiful, amazing. I love you. So don't be afraid to ask for help, to receive help if it's offered. That is just such a blessing, and try to look at it that way instead of feeling awkward or guilty about it, because this is a time where everyone wants to pitch in and they want to give you love and they want to help you. So that is all the tips that I have for you guys. If you are a mama watching this and you want to add anything specific to this, anything I missed, or any like big nuggets of advice, let us know in the comments. I'm sure other people would like to listen to that. And I just want to share, I had this idea of how my postpartum would go, and if you haven't watched my birth story, it didn't go exactly how I planned. I had a home birth, and then we ended up having to transfer baby, so that meant mom and baby spent 3 nights, 4 days out of the house in the NICU. And that is just something that I did not prepare for. And if something like that happens to you and you have a little kid at home that is waiting for you to come home, I feel for you. I know that that is not fun at all. And yeah, if anyone's in that situation, let me know in the comments, and I would love to be praying for you. And yeah, I hope that this list of things was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.